conflicting reports.
We're getting probably about 2 or 3 emails a day.
When will the Gordie Howe International Bridge open to the public? Local mother hopeful.
When kids are critical, they sometimes don't have time to make it to London or Toronto.
Could Windsor's new hospital bring more pediatric care? And Howard Avenue hassle. How long will construction last?
CTV News with Stefanie Masotti.
Good evening and thank you for joining us, and hello to those listening to us on AM 800. We're just days away from the August 1st deadline for a trade deal with the United States. The roller coaster ride has already taken its toll, but the U.S. ambassador to Canada says he's hopeful a real deal is coming. CTV's Abigail Beeman now on the tense wait and signs of what's to come.
A government source tells CTV News there's a good level of optimism about Minister Dominic LeBlanc's next D.C. trip, and discussions will still center on trying to get a deal before the Friday deadline.
I'm hopeful that a number of additional irritants, maybe on both sides, will be addressed.
While the American ambassador told a Winnipeg audience he's hopeful about a deal in the coming days, and Pete Hoekstra makes it sound easy.
We could hammer out a deal, and we would still have time to get coffee and a donut at Tim Hortons before lunch.
My life is full of questions.
Meanwhile, prices are going up from household product giant Procter & Gamble, expecting about $1 billion hit from Donald Trump's tariffs.
In the long term, this direction will weaken the free world more than it will help it, and it will, I think, ultimately weaken the United States as well. So I think it's unfortunate. But
Canada. What about Canada? I don't know what they're feeling now at this point.
In an interview, U.S. Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick, LeBlanc's main point of contact, said the European Union's deal was all about protecting their auto, semiconductor, and pharmaceutical markets, warning
President Trump is going to come out in the next 2 weeks with his pharmaceutical policy, and it is going to be higher. Basically, if you are not building your plant in America where we pay for pharmaceuticals, you are going to pay a massive tariff.
With that Friday deadline looming, Canadian officials and the American ambassador are messaging optimism just days after President Trump said he hasn't had much luck with Canada and there may not be a deal at all. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
July has been a busy month for Canada Border Services agents. CBSA officers at Southern Ontario ports of entry seized 12 firearms, 18 magazines, and 254 rounds of ammunition from U.S. residents entering Canada. That was all over just a 3-day period. Now, in this area, items were seized from the Blue Water Bridge in Point Edward, the Ambassador Bridge, and the Windsor-Detroit Tunnel. A total of $13,000 in fines was paid. In other news, an Amherstburg mother is hoping pediatric care in Windsor will expand and offer new options once the new acute care hospital is built. She says it's a matter of life and death for children like one of her own.
His bowels could have ruptured at any moment, so time was of the essence.
Sully was 2 days old when he was diagnosed with Hirschsprung's disease in Detroit.
Hirschsprung's disease means that you're born without being able to go to the bathroom properly.
Sully and his family regularly travel to London for specialized treatment.
When kids are critical, they sometimes don't have time to make it to London or Toronto.
His mother, Kate Lowe, has spent the last 4 years advocating for expanded pediatric services across Windsor, Essex. In a statement sent to CTV News, the Department Chief of Pediatrics at Windsor Regional Hospital states, as we have said on multiple occasions, Windsor Regional Hospital is always interested in expanding programs and services, but only where patient volumes would safely support those additions. We will advocate for funding to support expanded or new programs where the volumes warrant. However, there are many specialized cases where, for the safety of the patient, Services are better provided where there is expertise and more common clinical practice, such as specialized pediatric care in London. Officials go on to say they have seen several upgrades to the pediatric services in recent years. In the last 3 years, they've added 8 new pediatricians and a pediatric oncologist to their team, and the hospital does provide a pediatric emergency diversion service that operates 7 days a week.
Our area is growing by leaps and bounds.
Lowe says she has high hopes for the future as planning continues on the new acute care hospital.
This is a real opportunity to have a pediatric emergency department, to have a pediatric critical care unit with more surgeons who are here full-time, not just visiting surgeons for pediatric surgeries. It's an opportunity to have a full-time pediatric oncology unit. It's an opportunity to have a pediatric medical day unit with more specialists.
Construction on the $2 billion project is expected to begin in 2026 and be completed by 2031.
The City of Windsor has approved a plan to fill in the pool at the former Waterworld building to help provide shelter for those in need during extreme conditions, and it could cost millions. Council made the decision at its meeting Monday in closed session as the vote concerned municipal property. The project at the temporary H4 building downtown could cost several millions of dollars, but a firm estimate has not been given ahead of the request for proposals. The plan would see the empty pool filled in, a new HVAC system installed, and washrooms added to create overflow space for people in need. Windsor Mayor Drew Dilkin says the city needs to make sure there is space available for those experiencing homelessness and dealing with mental health and addiction issues. The money is being pulled from the budget of the planned permanent homelessness and housing help hub.
We know that we can't move into the permanent H4. It's going to be 5+ years by the time that facility is ready. And so I've been able to look people in the city in the face and say, no one ever needs to sleep on the street in the city of Windsor. Those you see sleeping in tents or on the street, those folks are making a choice, that there is always room at the shelter system. We don't want to take over from the regular shelter system. That's not our goal. But the goal is to augment with the services that are already being offered to make sure that no one ever has to sleep on the street.
CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald joined me now for a first look at the weather from the top of the Bell Building tonight, where it is sweltering hot, Gary.
You're right. The heat warning is still technically in place, but I'm hoping for a bit of a cooler day tomorrow, and then Thursday is likely quite cool, and below seasonal by about several degrees, maybe 5 degrees below seasonal. Imagine that, in the mid-20s instead of low 30s, feeling like the 40s. Not much to see with the satellite radar imagery across southern Ontario. It is cloudy this evening, but the chances of seeing showers and/or thunderstorms is diminishing minute by minute. That's good news, but we actually do need the rains. The one caveat to the cooler day coming Thursday is that it will be a rainy day throughout. We need it on the grounds for our growers and for your lawns and gardens. I'll break down what you need to know as we look ahead to a long weekend. Yes, there's a holiday on Monday. It's coming up. For now, I'll send it back inside to you at the desk.
Another day, more conflicting reports about the opening of the Gordie Howe International Bridge. Joining me again on this hot topic, Michelle Mosky.
Yeah, Stefanie, Mayor Drew Dilkin may have spilled the beans on a potential opening day. In an interview with the National Post about Windsor's economy, Dilkin is quoted in reference to increasing local unemployment when he told the newspaper, quote, "We've got the Gordie Howe Bridge that is winding up construction and should open officially the first week of December this year." City Hall is today backpedaling on that statement. Acting Chief of Staff Chris Menard says, as project timelines are ever evolving for the bridge project, the mayor's comment should be considered stale dated. Officials with the Windsor-Detroit Bridge Authority did not respond to my email asking for confirmation of Dilkin's statement. Now, in a news release dated January 2024, the bridge team indicated the project would be done by this September. But now the messaging is fall 2025. We asked a spokesperson at a community benefits event today if they could comment on the status of construction. Stefanie Campo reiterated the project is 98% done, with operating system installation and landscaping still underway in Windsor, while in Detroit there are daily road closures for active construction on the bridge approaches. Now, it's not just the media that is curious about the project's conclusion. Campo says they have been flooded with interest from the broader public.
We're getting probably about 2 or 3 emails a day from people who have very compelling reasons why they should be the first to cross. We know that the community wants to be involved with the opening, and we are looking at what we can do to make sure that everybody takes part in this as much as they can.
To reiterate what we reported yesterday, CBSA has started working at the bridge, getting their systems online. CBP still is not saying the status of their work in Detroit. The other piece of this that they're being very quiet about is tolls. How much will it cost to cross? That is also a highly guarded secret, Stefanie. They're still not ready to divulge how much the toll will be.
Okay, a lot of interest here. We'll have to see.
Definitely.
Okay, thank you, Michelle Molesky tonight.
Welcome.
Now, another large construction project, the Howard Division Road corridor. That's where we find Bob Belachico tonight.
Well, Stefanie, slow traffic on Division is almost a guarantee any time of the day. I don't know if you've been stuck in it, but I have, and it's definitely not a lot of fun. But residents in the area have found ways to kind of get around it. Now, before this project started, traffic was always a problem in this area, but things seem to be shaping up and taking shape and offering a glimpse of relief.
It'll be awesome once everything's opened up and all the construction's done.
Since March, the city has been working on a massive $18 million reconstruction of the Howard Corridor that includes Division Road and Sydney Avenue. The project has had a major impact on traffic and area businesses to improve traffic flow.
All the businesses around here will definitely appreciate that, and we're just glad that the guys are hard at work and getting the work done for us.
The rail crossing at Howard is completely cut off. Northbound traffic on Howard Avenue can freely turn onto South Cameron. Despite no traffic coming from the rail side, drivers still need to stop. That sign will disappear when work begins on the median next month.
Essentially, South Cameron will just bend up to Sydney, and it'll completely, change the configuration of that intersection. It will no longer be a three-way intersection. It'll just be a curve.
A new railway grade crossing at Sydney Avenue is being worked on.
The new grade crossing should be constructed within the next month or so, and then commissioning of the railway crossing probably in September, October.
Division Road has been widened with a long lead up to the turn onto Sydney to help account for rail backups. Although there is an anticipation of lower traffic volume on Howard, there should be enough room for traffic to back up onto Sydney when trains run through that intersection.
It'll be, I believe it's 4 lanes wide to provide that room for vehicles to queue up if there's a train.
According to the city, the project is on schedule. Now, Ward 9 City Councillor Kieran McKenzie says, along with improved traffic, one of the great outcomes from this project is the linking of multi-use trails starting along South Cameron through to Sydney Avenue.
Then into onto Marintet as well, which will further connect that whole strip east-west along in South Windsor from essentially South Cameron all the way to Lausanne Parkway.
The city says the road construction in the Howard Corridor should be done sometime in November in time for the holiday shopping season. Bob Belachico, CTV News.
Meanwhile, over on Walker Road, Windsor Utilities is continuing its work on a new feeder main. 2 lanes are now open in each direction along Walker Road, improving flow through this busy corridor. And road work is ongoing at the intersection of Walker and Tecumseh Roads. Lane controls remain in place. Drivers should note Tecumseh Road East is reduced to 1 lane each way between Factoria and Byng, and left turns at Walker Road are not permitted. Windsor Utilities says the project is on track for completion by the end of August of 2025. So this takes us to our question of the day. Have you been impacted by construction in Windsor, Essex? Go to our website to cast your vote, ctvnewswindsor.ca. Yesterday we asked if you see a lot of littering at Windsor Essex festivals. Out of almost 500 votes, 76% say yes. A Chatham-Kent tent encampment fueled a 4-hour-long council meeting on Monday night. Residents and council members weighing in. CTV's Robert Lothian has the final decision, at least for now.
What was once a place sharing it with friends, and most of all, feeling safe is no longer.
A first-hand account of how life has changed near Grand Avenue East since an encampment relocated to this municipal property.
How long until a child is hurt or worse? And when that day comes, who's going to be responsible?
Chatham County Council hearing from 16 delegations at a special meeting Monday night. A mix of fear for their families and compassion for those living rough.
Let's consider consolidating our services, cutting costs, and reaching peak potential in servicing those in need.
The encampment moved about 2 weeks ago for safety reasons as work on the nearby riverbank was about to begin. Frustration was directed at staff for a lack of communication about the move and where the homeless were being relocated.
The decision to move the encampment to the PC property was not a staff choice or a council choice.
Mayor Darren Caniff put forward a motion requiring shelters to be 100 meters from a property line, but this was sent back to administration for review.
My reason for asking for this is just to make sure that we don't repeat what just happened. Essentially to just have some communication and some clarity from administration.
Municipal staff say only 2 Chatham locations may fit within the parameters. A report detailing the impact is expected in August.
I'm looking at the rights of the individual homeowners and the individual business by saying, no, you need to be 100 meters away.
Council is moving forward with initiatives aimed at addressing the encampment. This includes limiting encampments to 1 tent per person, hiring at least 1 bylaw officer for encampment enforcement, adding CCTV cameras where necessary, and exploring housing options. As for a new encampment site, Council will wait to hear back from staff.
So I had some indication, but I'd want to wait for their report to say the amount of people impacted. But again, it's 100 meters away from everything versus 10 meters away.
Robert Lothian, CTV News.
What led to Shane Tamura's shooting rampage? We have the latest in the New York City shooting that killed 4 people, including a police officer. That's still ahead. Later on Windsor's news leader, friendship or fireworks? The fan frenzy over a surprise sighting. And tomorrow, an update on a story we brought you back in March of a Windsor amputee who now has a new lease on life and a new leg. That's tomorrow at 6 on CTV News. Start your day with the latest local news. By signing up for our newsletter, you'll get direct local content straight from CTV Windsor to your inbox, including top stories, the forecast, and videos. You can sign up at ctvnewswindsor.ca. Now to the latest on that deadly killing spree in Midtown Manhattan late yesterday. 4 people, including a New York City police officer, gunned down. Another seriously injured inside a Park Avenue skyscraper. NBC's Jay Gray has a closer look tonight at the attack, the suspect, and the search for a motive in the attack.
A day later, bullet holes and stepped-up security marked the scene of the mass shooting. New Yorkers still stunned by what happened here.
Somebody walking around the streets of Manhattan with an assault rifle. It's a little bit scary.
The gunman opening fire inside a Park Avenue business tower, killing 4. One of the victims, a New York City police officer working security. Then,
wearing black suit and a bulletproof vest.
As officers rush in, taking his own life, the suspect identified as 27-year-old Shane Tamura of Las Vegas. Investigators saying he had a history of mental illness. Sources telling NBC News he left a note at the scene expressing anger his mental illness may be linked to playing football in high school. 2 officials saying he mentioned CTE, a brain disease linked to head trauma, as a possible cause of his condition.
He was not an NFL player. We have reason to believe that he was focused on the NFL agency that was located in the building, and we're going to continue to investigate with our federal partners to ensure that we can find a reason.
NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell saying an NFL employee was seriously injured in the attack. Overnight, a dignified transfer carrying the body of New York police officer Didarul Islam.
He's a true blue New Yorker, not only in the uniform he wore, but in his spirit and energy of loving this city.
The 36-year-old father leaves behind 2 young boys and his wife. who is 8 months pregnant with their third child. Jay Gray, NBC News.
A massive fire destroyed a century-old building in downtown Montreal early this morning.
Nick.
More than 150 firefighters rushed to the scene after 2 a.m. to this two-story building with retail space on the ground floor and apartments above. Flames raced through the structure and people were forced to flee the burning building. One person was pulled out from the balcony. No injuries were reported. The fire department says it's too early to establish what caused the fire. A close call at a London grocery store where a car smashed through the storefront, barely missing a customer. You can see a woman pushing a shopping cart before the car plows into the produce section, sending glass flying. This happened last Friday. No one was hurt. The video would go on to show a woman emerge from the car along with a small child. Now, the role of Windsor City Hall's top watchdog could soon carry more weight. New legal protections are on the table to safeguard the independence of the Auditor General. CTV's Travis Fortnum explains what's changing and why it matters.
It's a job built on independence, keeping City Hall in check. The Auditor General oversees the financial management and operations of the city, but Windsor hasn't put any local rules in place to spell out how that role should function day to day.
There's always been an emphasis on ensuring independence. That can mean different things. So part of exploring the bylaw is what does that more specifically mean?
A city report brought to council Monday takes a look at what other Ontario municipalities are doing and found Windsor is behind. Cities like Ottawa, Sudbury, and Thunder Bay all have bylaws outlining how their AG offices function, who they report to, how they're funded, and just how independent they really are. The Municipal Act covers the basics, but Councillor Kieran McKenzie says the need for clear rules at the local level is even more pressing now.
The area that I'm mostly concerned about, and just because the landscape's changed, I'm going to go back to the issue of the strong mayor framework.
Under Ontario's strong mayor system, Windsor's mayor has more power, including over some hiring, firing, and shaping of the budget. A bylaw could help future-proof the AG's office, no matter who's in charge, even if the role is out of the strong mayor's reach.
The Auditor General's excluded. The mayor does not have the authority to terminate the Auditor General.
Council voting unanimously to move ahead, directing staff to work with the Auditor General and draft a bylaw for consideration. There's no timeline in place, but current AG Chris O'Connor says he's happy to support the effort. Travis Fortnum, CTV News.
Ontario's Labour Minister announced today the province is opening up applications for a new round of funding to train workers.
We're building a world-class workforce that will withstand any economic challenge that comes our way. And the foundation of this is the relationship we have with training delivery leaders like the ones in this room and the workers they support. Today, we have some exciting projects to highlight from Round 5 of our Skills Development Fund. We're announcing over $20 million through this round to train 4,825 workers and job seekers through 7 priorities for careers in the skilled trades: hospitality, artificial intelligence, and healthcare.
Now, this is the 6th iteration of the Skills Development Fund from the Ford government. The minister says the funds can be used for innovative projects in healthcare, manufacturing, construction, and the automotive sector. Now, it's a dark horse pairing no one saw coming. Former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is trending online after being caught on camera dining with Katy Perry. TMZ released a video showing the pair at the high-end Montreal restaurant La Violon last night. The Michelin-recommended restaurant was rated as Canada's 11th best eatery this year. No word on what brought them together or what was on the menu. The pop star is currently touring in Canada as part of her Lifetimes tour. LaSalle's Kylie Moss narrowly missed the podium today. Moss finishing 4th in the world's 100-meter backstroke final at the World Swimming Championships. The 5-time Olympic medalist finished in 58.42 seconds, just 0.27 seconds behind American Catherine Burkhoff, who claimed bronze. Canada's main stock index finished higher to cap off trading, while American markets moved lower. In Toronto, the TSX gained 134 points. In New York, the Dow fell 205, the Nasdaq dropped 80. The Canadian dollar down a quarter cent today. On commodity markets, gold gained $14 an ounce and oil added $2.50 a barrel. His legacy lives on. Terry Fox's last words, "If I don't make it, the marathon of hope must continue." Now his story is reaching a new demographic.
Let's take a look at our CTV News weather snapshot. Thanks to Brandon Ellis for this image. Just ahead, will much needed rain be in store tonight? Will the heat warning drop by tomorrow morning or be extended? I have the answers with my forecast coming up next on CTV News Windsor.
Discussion here at Windsor City Hall.
Windsor's top stories.
A major project is about to get underway.
Breaking news alerts.
Severe weather is a possibility.
And watch live.
Good evening and thank you for joining us.
Download the CTV News app.
Another day of heat and humidity. Gary joins me again for an extended look tonight.
You know what? The good news, bad news part of this story is if you were near a body of water like Lake St. Clair, Lake Erie, you got a nice breeze coming off of the water. The ground is warmer than the water itself, so we were getting lake breezes, and I was fortunate to be in the midst of that in Harrow today. But if you were in the city of Windsor, you felt the heat and humidity with temperatures hovering around 30, 31 degrees Celsius. Reached a high of about 30 today. We're holding at 30, 29 in Chatham-Kent. Mostly cloudy, a bit hazy through the afternoon, now into this early stage of the evening. It feels like about 37 to 38 in extreme southwestern Ontario, about 35 plus between here and London, Kitchener, Waterloo. We are, well, the warm spot in the country, the lower Great Lakes, and it extends a little bit further east towards Ottawa and east from there towards southern Quebec, Montreal and Trois-Rivières, about 30 degrees Celsius. So the warmth's in the eastern flank of the country for the most part. The prairies are acceptably warm. And some of the cooler air, though, in the northern prairies is going to come our way for Thursday, Friday. We are going to see a big relief. Speaking of relief, the chances of seeing showers and thunderstorms this evening are lessening. That's good news as the front that is pushing showers moves to the east, but Thursday's a different story. We'll get some cooler air from the west and northwest, but rain will be coming. I think Thursday's likely to be a wet day altogether. And the chances of seeing some thunderstorm activity is still there. For now, tonight's relatively dry, just humid. Dry in the sense of not seeing any precipitation in the form of showers. 28 degrees, mostly sunny through 8 o'clock, feels like 37. We're mostly clear to midnight. At that time, 23 feels like about 30. Tomorrow, courtesy of our Sal's Heating and Cooling 7-day forecast, showers possible, 29, feels like 38. A rainy Thursday, 24. Wow, that's a huge drop. 25 and sunshine. The story Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday up to 29, still sunny, sunny Tuesday and 28. We are looking forward to the cooler air, no doubt.
Lifetime, brought to you by Safeguard Medical Alert Systems.
The 33rd annual Windsor Essex Pride Fest is set to take off Friday, August 1st, with the raising of the Pride flag at City Hall. It's a 10-day celebration of 2S LGBT QIA+ individuals and their families in our community. This year's edition promises a party atmosphere with live music, a disco dance night, the Pride Tea Dance, with food trucks, local artists, and performers. The first 7 days light up venues across the region, culminating with one unforgettable weekend at Lansbury Park, August 8th through the 10th. Tickets to the event can be purchased online at wepridefest.com. Some kids at a Harrow camp have a lot to cheer about today. The Kiwanis Sunshine Point Camp received a check from the Ontario Trillium Foundation for $198,000. The money needed to help expand the staff lodge. The camp has been running for 78 years, offering kids various educational and recreational summer activities. Most of the cost of attending camp is covered by public and private donations. And many of the campers today are expected to return to the future as well as camp counselors.
Well, we're using the entire budget of $198,000, but there were some cost overruns that I don't know, somehow I'm going to have to dig up another 20 grand to finish it off, but I'll worry about that later because that wasn't in the budget.
This year marks the 45th anniversary of the Terry Fox Marathon of Hope. As part of the year-long celebration, a new children's book is being released, sharing Terry's story with the next generation.
A is for adventure. Terry Fox had an older brother, younger brother, and little sister. It was always an adventure when they played together. B is for basketball. Terry loved all kinds of sports, especially basketball. He worked hard to be a good player.
Author Denise Dias read her book, T is for Terry, an ABC of Courage, aloud to a group of parents and kids in Scarborough this afternoon. The book chronicles Terry Fox's life from his childhood through to the Marathon of Hope in 1980.
Terry is such a Canadian icon, and he represents the best of what it means to be Canadian. Hope, optimism, courage, selflessness, helping others, and believing in something bigger than yourself.
The book was created in partnership with Fox's family, and royalties will be donated directly to the Terry Fox Foundation. Since its inception, the foundation has raised more than $900 million for cancer research. A new Angus Reid poll finds 60% of Canadians prefer to work from home. That's compared to just 9% of people who prefer to be on-site full-time. Among those who have been asked to return to the office after working from home, 72% say they followed the request. 23% say they often spend fewer days than required in the office, while 5% quit. Just 30% of people who work from home currently say they would return to the office without any complications if asked by their employer. A photographer ordered an expensive camera lens, but that's not what she found inside of the box when it arrived. Her story coming up on Windsor's News Leader.
Pure Country 89, Windsor's country music station. Pure access to the biggest stars and the hottest songs. Download the free iHeartRadio app to listen to Pure Country everywhere.
The leading international authority on food crisis says the worst-case scenario famine is currently playing out in the Gaza Strip. The integrated food security phase classification is predicting widespread death without immediate action. Israel's offensive in Gaza has led to a security breakdown in the embattled enclave, which has made it nearly impossible to safely deliver badly needed food to starving Palestinians. What little aid that is making it into Gaza is being hoarded by gangs. The UN says 100,000 women and children in Gaza are suffering from severe acute malnutrition. In China, at least 34 people have been killed by flooding triggered by days of heavy rain. Floodwaters washed away vehicles in Beijing suburbs on Monday. Some areas have received more than 540 millimeters of rain. The city has issued its highest level flood alert. In some areas, locals have been teaming up with firefighters to bring trapped residents to safety. Officials in Ukraine are saying 17 people have died and 80 are wounded after a Russian airstrike on a prison in Ukraine's southeastern Zaporizhia region. Officials say the strikes happened late Monday night. Russia launched 2 ballistic missiles along with 37 strike drones and decoys. Most were intercepted, but 4 hit the prison. Ukraine is condemning the attack as a war crime. Meanwhile, American President Donald Trump continues threatening Russia, shortening the timeline for a ceasefire between Russian President Vladimir Putin and Ukraine.
I'm going to make a new deadline of about 10 or 12 days from today.
Trump's new ceasefire timeline is down from the previous 50-day deadline. Trump has threatened sanctions on Russia and buyers of Russian exports unless progress is made on a deal between the two countries. Russia's former president said on social media that Trump's threats could lead to a war involving the U.S., while Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky praised Trump's stance on Russia. A new glow will soon be seen on Windsor's riverfront. Art Windsor Essex, with support from the Gordie Howe International Bridge Community Benefits Plan, is launching the city's first ever Night Light Festival. Running September 18th through the 20th, the festival will transform the grounds outside Art Windsor Essex into a world of light, art, and interactive tech. Some of the outdoor exhibitions and off-site displays will showcase the talents of local artists starting September 1st. Visitors can participate in workshops and create their own wearable technology. Organizers say it's a celebration like nothing Windsor has seen before.
Celebrating digital art, installation art, interactive art, public art. It's going to give us an opportunity to showcase to Windsor internationally renowned artworks while also celebrating local artists who are doing really interesting work in the medium of light and digital and interactivity.
British rocker Youngblood is bringing his explosive energy to Windsor as part of his Global Idols tour. He'll take to the Coliseum stage on September 13th. Known for his genre-blending sound and raw, unapologetic lyrics, Youngblood has become a global voice for a generation, racking up awards, launching Bluefest, and even topping bestseller lists. Tickets go on sale August 1st at 10 a.m. And we want to hear from you. Send us a text with a comment or question or photos and video of news happening. If you have an idea for a great story, text us at 10400.
Unscripted, unpredictable, and unapologetic. Wake up with Hannah and Johnny on 93.9 Virgin Radio.
This is your CTV Windsor, our community calendar. Come together and show your colors at the 2025 Windsor Essex Pride Fest, August 1st to the 7th at various locations and August 8th to the 10th at Lansbury Park. See you next time on Our Community.
A woman in the Toronto area says she's been through a frustrating ordeal trying to get her money back for a product she says she never received. As CTV's Pat Thorne reports, it appears the package containing her expensive camera lens had been tampered with.
I was completely shocked. I didn't know what to do.
Victoria Schell of Maple says her hobby is photography and she recently wanted to upgrade to a more advanced camera lens. She found one online at Canon Canada's website. The lens was part of a damaged box sale and was selling for just over $2,500. When the shipment arrived, she was shocked when she opened it up.
The box was supposed to contain a Canon EF 24-70mm lens, and instead there was a box of Boss Stitch Staples.
Schell contacted Canon to say what happened and sent them photos of what she received.
The lens was inspected in the facility, so by the time it left the facility, everything was intact.
Schell says while the outside box was sealed, the box for the camera lens had been opened.
There is no safety seal.
The box of staples was the same weight as what the camera lens would be. Following an investigation, Schell was told she would not be getting a refund.
I'm completely heartbroken. I'm really upset.
2 years ago, we did a similar story with the Madkin family of Brampton. They ordered a laptop and received 2 books instead.
Did you need this book?
I don't need that.
Did you need 2 of them?
No, I don't need either. So someone have opened the box and they put the books with the same weight. Looks like a MacBook.
With CTV's help, the family got a refund. CTV News also reached out to Canon Canada, and a spokesperson said the package did match the weight that would be expected for the lens model purchased. However, it appears the package may have been tampered with after departing our facility. We are currently in the process of issuing a refund to the customer for the cost of the lens. That was great news for Schell. She has now received her refund and plans to buy a new lens in person at a camera store. Pat Foran, CTV News.
It's time to check in on what's happening now with Kate Otterbein. And Kate, Windsor police are issuing a reminder about opioid safety after a fatal overdose.
Yes, within the last 24 hours, police responded to 3 suspected overdoses, one of which ended in death. Windsor police are now urging users to never use alone, always have naloxone nearby, and call 911 immediately in the event of an overdose. 911 should still be called anytime naloxone is given. Police also advising everyone should know the signs of an overdose. You can read the signs outlined by the health unit online at ctvnewswindsor.ca.
And moving to Leamington now, some charges were laid at a greenhouse.
A greenhouse operator is facing more than $2,500 in fines for fire code violations. An inspection was done at a worker bunkhouse on a property in the municipality. The operator is now facing charges after 4 violations were recorded on site. Leamington says that property owners and operators are responsible to follow the Ontario Fire Code. Regular maintenance and inspections are essential. Visit our website to see a full breakdown of the violations. And in our social spotlight tonight, this little boy was all over his new sister until he asked one very important question.
What's her mom?
I'm her mom.
Who is baby mom?
I'm the baby's mom. I'm your mom and I'm her mom.
How disappointing. He quickly was told that they share the same mom, which I can only imagine is hard if he is the oldest. Now just wait until he finds out who her dad is too. Stefanie, how did your son react when you brought home your daughter?
It's funny when you're bringing this up right now. My son did not acknowledge my daughter for at least 2 years. He wouldn't even give her a glance. Whenever we would go, just completely ignore her. So it took obviously some time, but now they just argue and tease each other 24/7 now. So that's what's going on in our household.
Hopefully it doesn't take that long for this little boy, but we'll see.
Exactly. Okay, thank you, Kate, and that's what's happening now.
The latest news to start your day.
Interviews, conversations with the top officials, the difference makers, and personalities in Windsor, Essex.
Only on Windsor, Essex #1 morning show.
It's Mornings with Mike and Meg on AM 800.
Another sweltering day outside when I was working on my report earlier today. Beads of sweat dripping down my face.
Yeah, it's tough to stay cool in these conditions, especially when we're outside. I feel badly at times for some of the landscapers I see in and around my house, on my street, doing some work, and they're dressed head to toe, right? And we're still looking at temperatures feeling like the 30s through to midnight. Humidex values. The heat warning is still technically in place. It's likely going to drop tomorrow, but there's a chance it could be extended. Showers, thunderstorms, potentially in the afternoon. More of the wet weather for Thursday. That's going to be a really rainy day. 24 degrees. So we'll go from 29 tomorrow, feeling like about 39 to 24. That looks good. And we need the rain. Sunshine, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 25, 25, 28, 29. So we'll gradually get back up into that higher 20s, low 30s range. Tuesday, a week from now, is 28. So I'm looking forward to 24. The holiday weekend looks sunny and beautiful.
My birthday weekend, just saying.
Oh, yes.
Just
Happy
saying.
birthday in advance.
Okay, an Adam Sandler contest in Manhattan drew more than a dozen contestants. Here's the winner of the Adam Sandler Look-alike contest. Doppelgangers donned their favorite Sandler looks, from his role in Happy Gilmore to Little Nicky and even Saturday Night Live. The prize, $50 and, you know, a jar of pickles. The winner says he can't go anywhere without someone saying he looks like Adam Sandler. Yeah, I can definitely see that.
Biggest advantage I had from looking like Adam Sandler is I was able to attract my wife.
Definitely looks like a fun contest to be a part of, but the new Happy Gilmore 2, you haven't seen it?
mean, I loved the first film, and I'm a big fan of Sandler. My expectations, I'm going to go into it hoping it's great, but sequels often are not. There's only a handful of sequels that are great. Terminator 2, Empire Strikes Back, The Wrath of Khan,
Well,
Rocky 2.
I must say, I watched it with low expectations. And for me, I was actually LOLing, laughing out loud.
All right.
So it was definitely a good time, a great, just chill, you know, drama-free.
He's a funny guy.
A lot of excitement. It's nice to see him come back. And all the characters that come back, all the celebrities in that movie.
Cameos then.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's great. He's also a good dramatic actor as well. That knows some films, so he's really talented.
On behalf of our dedicated team here at CTV News Windsor, thank you for watching.
For updates throughout the evening, go to ctvnewswindsor.ca.
And Ricardo will have your only late local newscast tonight at 11.
Good night.